welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, to Raider Arena in Niceville, Florida, home of the Northwest Florida State College Raiders and home of tonight's men's matchup, Panhandle Conference play. The Northwest Florida State College Raiders welcome the Indians of Chipola College here for the second to last game in Panhandle Conference play of the season. My name is Rob Brown. Jeff McDonald sits to my right. He is on color commentary for you this evening. And Jeff, it has been a fantastic season for this men's team all year. 10-0 in conference, 24-2 overall. Last week, they win the Panhandle Conference 5 consecutive years that the Raiders have brought that trophy back here to Raider Arena, and they look to carry that momentum forward tonight against Chipola.
Yeah, absolutely, Rob. Tonight, I look to be a great ball game. Last 2 times we played Chipola, they played us pretty tough. So I expect this one to be a good one here tonight. But our Raiders have been on fire, and so I hope to see that continue at home here tonight against these Indians from Chipola State College.
This is going to be one of the more athletic contests that we've seen so far, as these Chipola Indians are very quick. They get up and down the floor, and they will put on a dunk exhibition if you give them even the slightest amount of sunshine between them and the iron. This is not a team that the Raiders can play loose and fast with. This is a team where fundamentals are going to matter. This is a team that you have to slap the floor and play defense. This is going to be a basketball game tonight, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. They've given us some tough ball games this season, and we're looking here tonight as far as from a national perspective. Chipola comes in here ranked number 16 in the country, playing our number 4 ranked Northwest Florida State College Raiders, the 2 top teams in the Panhandle Conference, and it's going to be a heck of a ball game.
The Raiders are 2-0 against Chipola this year. They beat them here at Raider Arena 95-84 back on the 12th of January. On the 30th of January, they went on the road to Chipola and eked out an 86-82 victory. So a pair of wins, but both of them very close basketball contests. This thing is no guarantee for the Raiders tonight. Your Panhandle Conference champs are going to have to put everything they've got on the hardwood tonight if they want to walk out of here with another victory. Again, already established as conference champions, already in the state tournament taking place March 6th through 9th, and well on their way to getting a seed in the national tournament. But the thing tonight, keep that momentum going. Build on that momentum. Get you guys up and down the floor and take advantage of what is going to be one of your last most difficult contests in conference play.
Yeah, absolutely, Rob. This is a great opportunity playing a great team in Chipola to kind of get us tuned up and ready for the state tournament.
Eric Vila, the big man from Spain who buried a handful of 3-point shots in the last home contest, will get us started with the jump ball. Again, live from Raider Arena in Niceville, Florida. The Raiders will open with possession. Javion Hamlet in control of the basketball. Eric Vila up at the top of the 3, hands it over to Tyree Combat Boots Jackson. Gives it back over to Javion Hamlet inside to Vila. Eric Vila's looking up top.
Wow.
He'll just go right to the rack and put the little one-hand baby hook in.
Huge mismatch right there as he got somehow matched up on the guard and just backed him under the basket. Easy layup.
The Raiders, so many pick and rolls, so many up-top screens that you will every now and then see those matchups where they get a guy like Eric Vila one-on-one and a point guard. That layup, no good, and Tyree comes down with a board. Big, long 3, no good, just off for Noah Morgan. His first shot of the night is not good. Chipola back the other way to reset their offense.
Tyree got up for that last rebound, Rob.
Nice little inside pass there. The dish to Daniel Oladapo, the 6'7" freshman, leads to the first points for the Raiders. We're square at 2 apiece. Tyree Jackson thought about launching that 3, pulls it back down, hits the little runner, but it's well short. That's a tough pass, or excuse me, a tough shot. He was looking for the pass to Vila, but Vila got covered up, so Tyree just kind of floated it up at the glass. Layup back the other way is good for Malik Zachary, and the Raiders have a 4-2, excuse me, the Indians have a 4-2 lead over the Raiders.
Yeah, something to look for tonight from Chipola. Look for a very physical ball game from Chipola, almost like we saw in the ladies game that wound up kind of backfiring on the ladies from Chipola. but look for these men to come out and try to do the same thing, get physical with the men from Northwest Florida State College and see if they can't take them out of their ball game, which is a typical up and down, fast-paced, up-tempo ball game. And that's the surefire way to slow us down, but didn't work out too well for the ladies. Hopefully it'll be the same tonight for the men.
Chris Duarte headed to the University of Oregon after sophomore night concludes here. Knocks down the first free throw, brings it within one. Second effort is all strings. We're all square at 4-piece. Here come the Indians led by Keyshawn Bruton. Resets with Malik Zachary, and he knocks down a long-range three. He was well outside the arc there. The Indians up 7-4. Not much you can do when a guy can pull it from out there consistently.
Well, I remember the last time they were here at Raider Arena, he had kind of had his way behind the line. He had a great ball game from what I can remember. So we got to do a better job of getting in his face.
Maybe on Hamlet with the spin move, but the left-hander won't go. Did everything right but finished. That was a beautiful little spin move to get out of trouble on the baseline, but couldn't connect on the layup. Drive to the free throw line. Spin move is blocked down, so he kicks it back out to number 4, Keyshawn Bruton. Bruton's going to reset back up with Malik Zachary. Zachary over to the corner. The three-pointer is up. Good. And the foul. That is Keyshawn Bruton, who knocks it down over Chris Duarte, and Duarte is called for the foul after the shot was already gone, it looked like. Duarte not thrilled with the call, gave the ref a look that was not pleasant, and he's got a 4-point play opportunity, does Keyshawn Bruton.
Yeah, Bruton off to a great start tonight for Chipola. And Duarte did a great job closing out, getting in his face, and Bruton just knocked down a great shot. And unfortunately, Duarte was a little close as he came down and drew the foul.
Oh, that is going to be a goaltend, no good on the putback. So 11-4, not the way the Raiders wanted to start this game off. You got to wonder if there's maybe a little bit of a hangover after cutting down the nets just a handful of days ago.
I don't know. It just, to me, it looks like we have from time to time struggled getting started off in ball games a little bit slow, and maybe tonight.
Tyree comes up with a turnover. Chris Duarte, look out below! The one-hand throw down. Tyree Jackson with a turnover finds Duarte on the hot streak, and he slams it down.
That'll get you turned around real quick.
Another three-point effort is good, and the Indians are shooting the lights out of the gym. Keyshawn Bruton for another three. It's 14-6 Indians so far on the back of a handful of three-pointers so far, 3 of them to be precise. Jeff McDonald, not the start you wanted if you're the Raiders tonight.
No, I mean, if you look up there, he got 14 points. 10 of those are from Bruton. 3 shots behind the line and a free throw from behind the three-point line. He is absolutely on fire. 3 for 3 so far. And, Coach DeMayo was a little fired up there with Tyree Jackson from a defensive perspective. But Tyree got out there on him. There was a man kind of in between Tyree and Bruton there. It's hard for him to get there. So, but just great shot.
And we're looking across at Tyree Jackson, who is standing at the edge of the bench. He is not happy with, not sure if it was the speech from Coach DeMayo, not sure if it was getting pulled from the game, but you can see the frustration as he stands. He's replaced by Kane Henry, who's entered the ball game for his first action with 16 and a half left to play.
Yeah, if there's one thing we know about Tyree Jackson, though, he'll step out, get his composure over there, get back in the game, and be a difference maker.
He absolutely wears his heart on his sleeve, and that's both good and bad. Here come the Raiders. There's Kane Henry in the corner. Henry's going to pull it back out. 5 on the shot clock. Resets with Noah Morgan. Morgan's going to drive inside to Vila, and it's going to be a turnover underneath.
This 2-3 zone defense from the Indians causing some trouble for the Raiders here.
Mental mistake out of the Indians. They just got too fast on the fast break, and the ball rolls out of bounds. Turnover by Chipola gives it back to the Raiders, as we're going to see another substitution. Noah Morgan is going to head to the bench, and in will check number 21, Luigi Desbois. Javion Hamlet in control of the offense here, flips it over to Duarte. Duarte back to Hamlet. Hamlet skips it back to Duarte, fakes the three, drives to the middle of the lane, kicks it over to the corner, and Kane Henry can't knock down the three-pointer from the corner. 14-6 Indians, 15-38. There's Eric Vila on defense, and a nice little layup effort won't go for Batumba Baruti. Yeah. Offensive second chance earned, however. Ball's on the floor, and the Indians recover. Step back, long-range jumper won't go. Off the hands of Javion Hamlet. Hamlet can't get anything. The pass across the lane was looking for Keyshawn Bruton, and Kane Henry got a hand in and deflected the pass out of bounds.
Yeah, some opportunities there to get the ball back, but some bad bounces off the rim for the Raiders here. But, you know, if you look at the scoreboard, it's 14-6. We played about 5 minutes here in this first half. We've, well, there's another
three. Laquan Butler, 5'11 freshman, knocks down the long-range three. It's 17-6 Raiders, the biggest deficit at home so far this season for Northwest Florida State's men's basketball team. Hamlet over to Duarte. Duarte skips it to Vila in the corner. He'll spot up the three. It's good. The big man reins in the three.
And, Rob, that's what it's going to take, knocking down those open threes when you get them, when you move the ball like that. It was great ball movement, great job switching the floor and getting a wide open Vila over there to knock down the three. That'll kind of help soften that zone defense a little bit and open things up for the Raiders on the offensive side of the ball.
There is a turnover from Chipola, looking for number 10, Christian Lorne, a 6'9 freshman on the inside. Lorne couldn't get a handle on it. Kane Henry able to assist the ball out of bounds. Turnover to the Raiders. There's Eric Vila over to Hamlet for the three. Bucket! Another three. He puts that three-point sign out there for the gym to see. Raiders back within 5, 14-16 on the clock.
Yeah, that's bad news for the Indians if we can start knocking them down from distance, because I don't know that they necessarily will match up well with us man-to-man.
And there's the offensive foul. That one's going to go against Christian Lorne, who got squared up down low with Duarte and Hamlet and tried to put his head down and go right to the rack. Instead, he goes right into the chest of Kane Henry, who draws the charge. That's another turnover. 3 consecutive possessions with a turnover to the Raiders.
Yeah, all it takes is a couple made baskets, and that gets things turned around.
Hamlet can't get the jumper to go. Rebounded by Chipola. They'll try to fast break to the other side. There's a jumper from the free throw line from Laquan Butler. It won't go. Ball's up for grabs. Rebounded by Chipola. And the long-range three from Keyshawn Bruton is knocked down. Bruton is in fuego this evening. That is 13 points, 4 3-pointers, 4 of 4, I believe, from behind the arc, and a free throw to boot. It's an 8-point ball game. Substitution, Cameron Gooden will check onto the floor. He's going to replace Batumba Baruti.
Looks like we're getting Diggs into the game. Another zone buster here for the Raiders.
Trey Diggs will replace Kane Henry in the lineup. Still got Luigi Desbois, Javion Hamlet, Trey Diggs, Chris Duarte, and Eric Vila all on the floor for the Raiders. To the right-hand side goes Hamlet, back over to Vila. Vila gives it up to Duarte. Duarte's looking for Luigi inside, can't find him. So will take it himself. The right-hand leaner won't go, and the foul is going to get called. Duarte with the leaner and tried to go up and over the much taller interior defender, Christian Lorne. And he draws the foul, and Chris Duarte is going to head to the stripe for his second set of free throws.
Yeah, there's a couple ways you beat a zone defense. One, that's knocking down the open threes when you get the ball moving well, and then also when you have those lanes to drive, you got to penetrate through those lanes and break down that zone. Good job by Duarte on that last possession.
Lorne heads to the bench, replaced by Daniel Oladapo, the 6'7 freshman. We talk about the international flair that a number of the Panhandle Conference basketball teams have. Chris Duarte, of course, from the Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. We got a chance to speak with him after the last game, a guy who just loves playing basketball. Fun to talk to. This Chipola team, Batumba Baruti from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Sheikh Faye from Senegal. You've got Ibrahima Sankari from Senegal. Christian Lorne from Paris, France. Simeon German from Lagos, Nigeria. Jeremy Lafour from Paris, France. You've got Bikim Biombo from the Congo and LaShane Wilson from Jamaica. The majority of the team from Chipola has international flair to it. There's a quick turnover right to the rack goes Javion Hamlet, but Hamlet can't get it to go. Comes off the iron, and we're going to have a foul called the other way. That's going to be a foul against Luigi, his first of the game. Hamlet couldn't get that offensive rebound to go, and it led to the foul. Tyree Jackson going to check in and replace Javion Hamlet. Yeah, Hamlet normally just a great finisher at the rim, having a little bit of a hard time here tonight in the early goings of this first half. Indians in that full court press. Eric Vila up on top of the press. He'll come over and help trap with Noah Morgan. Ball's going to get lost. Bounce to the other side, and that is a turnover and over back. And Eric Vila is pumped. He came over, got into position in that corner to trap the ball handle alongside Noah Morgan, and a quick, easy turnover for the Spaniard. Pass inside from Noah Morgan to Vila. He gives it back to Morgan. Morgan's going to reset up top to Tyree. Swings it around to Trey Diggs inside to Luigi. And that's going to be an easy offensive foul. Luigi was all elbow and forearm on that one. That's getting a little carried away with number 21. Had the position on the block, but when the ball came in, just got over-aggressive. Well, I think that was also coupled with a great acting job. As you see, number 3 for Chipola, Malik Zachary, getting a little laugh out of that. So, certainly. It's only bad acting if you don't get the ball. Oh, right back at him. And Trey Diggs, that's going to be Tyree Jackson, who takes the contact right off of Malik Zachary. So he gets the charge, turns around and gives it right back to Tyree, and that is an immediate turnover back to the Raiders. What did you notice there, Rob? Do you really believe Tyree got pushed that hard? Tyree recognized that that was a foul that these refs are going to give away, so he went ahead and took the ball back. Thank you. He went right back at the fellow Academy Award winner, Malik Zachary, and got the job done. Noah Morgan on the inside looking for somebody. Beats the 5-second clock. It ends up in the hands of Keyshawn Bruton, but Bruton had already stepped out of bounds, so it'll stay with the Raiders. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to please forgive me, but I've been battling a little bit of a cough, and I know you can hear it, and I do apologize. I'm doing the best I can to keep it down to a minimum, Rob. But 12:50 left to play in the first half. Tyree inside to Eric Vila, who goes with the left hand off the glass over 3 Indian defenders. Good look from Eric Vila, all touch. That's a tough shot. Three-pointer is up and no good. Bangs off the rim for Keyshawn Bruton. Rebound brought down by Vila. Here comes Tyree. Great job closing out right there by Duarte. Just got to get a hand in his face, and he did that, and that's going to shake up Bruton a little bit, not make those shots quite as easy. Chris Duarte with the step-back jumper at the three-point line. It's only a 2-pointer, but it looked good on the way through. 2-point game now, Rob. These Raiders have stepped up their intensity on the defensive side of the ball, and that's making a difference. They've also taken away the three-point shot from Chipola. They basically dared them to come into the inside and play with Eric Vila, and that's going to be a travel called. Eric Vila with the defense leaned on to the ball handler and forced him to give up his position, and a walk going to be called against Ibrahima Sankari from Senegal. Good defense from Eric Vila to create the turnover there. He thought that Vila was going to lean on him. Vila just kind of rolled out of the way and forced the travel. Good defense. Yeah, that's smart defense from Eric Vila, recognizing the aggressive nature of Chipola inside the paint and just kind of gives him a little bit of breathing room and allows him to fall prey to the craftery of Eric Vila. Inside of 12 minutes left to play, it is a 2-point ball game. The Raiders were down as many as 8 points earlier. Biggest deficit they've faced at home so far this year. They've erased that now back down to just 2 points, and the momentum is squarely in the hands of Northwest Florida State. Keyshawn Bruton came out gunning, 13 points so far this evening, but after those handful of three-pointers stopped falling for Keyshawn Bruton, the Raiders have taken advantage. The Indians 5 of 6 from deep so far. Bruton is 4 of 5. Butler's got one as well. They're 7 of 13 from the floor. Just one free throw attempted. They did knock that down. On the other side, the Raiders, 6 of 13 from the floor, 2 of 5 from the glass. Hamlet and Vila both have one. They are 4 of 4 from the stripe. 2 steals and only 2 turnovers. On the flip side, 8 turnovers created by the Raiders so far. So they are winning the statistical battle. The only difference right now, just those handful of three-pointers from the Indians early in the half. So here's Tyree. Tyree Jackson leading the offense at the point guard spot. Trey Diggs, Eric Vila, Chris Duarte, and Noah Morgan all on the floor alongside. Eric Vila skips it over to Trey Diggs in the corner, but the ball knocked out of bounds by an Indian defender. It'll stay with the Raiders.
Yeah, Chipola still in this zone defense. A great idea there, getting the ball at the free throw line area to Eric Vila and let him turn and face the basket and kind of operate from there. He always does a great job of finding his teammates flashing to the basket or knocking down that short jumper.
Duarte over to Trey Diggs. No good. Just short off the iron. Rebound brought down by Tyree. He goes up hard. He can't get it to go. And an offensive foul is called. Tyree Jackson went down hard and is slow to get up, and he is putting no pressure on that right ankle. Asking for a little help. He came down hard, may have rolled or twisted that ankle, but Tyree is getting some assistance back to the bench from Noah Morgan and Trey Diggs. We'll get an injury update as soon as we can on Tyree, but he has got no pressure on that right ankle. He's going to head over, right ankle, excuse me. He's going to head over to the trainer, and they'll take a look at him. He's going to be replaced in the ball game by by Javion Hamlet, who will check back in alongside Noah Morgan. Trey Diggs comes up with a turnover there. Eric Vila back up to Hamlet to reset.
Yeah, good opportunity for Hamlet to kind of get his game going here as he checks back in the game for Tyree. Hopefully Tyree is going to be okay. We'll certainly need him in this ball game.
A foul called on the floor. Noah Morgan put his head down and was going to the rack and catches a hit on the way by. The Indians have switched to a man-to-man defense, Jeff McDonald. It almost seems as if when the Raiders bring the ball down, they're coming up to a 2-3 zone. But on the inbound and on a reset play, the Indians will switch over to a man. So getting a healthy dose of both defenses out of the Indians.
Yeah, trying to confuse these Raiders a little bit. And now you see them back in that man. That's going to count.
Yeah, that's a goaltend. Chris Duarte goes under the defender and gets the little leaner off the glass, and the Indians are going to get called for a goaltending. And that's a tie ball game, 20 apiece with just over 11 minutes left to play in the first half. The Raiders have trailed by as many as 8 earlier in the matchup, and that's going to be a foul called against Trey Diggs. He got that left hand and kind of pushed off of Laquan Butler on his way across half court.
Yeah, you know, if you think about it, we have withstood a huge start to this first half, or to this ball game from Chipola, just busting threes and playing some great defense. And we have definitely turned things around here and tied things up good.
Just over 11 minutes left to play in the first half. Square ball game at 20 apiece. Chipola with the basketball, working left to right on your screen. Pass broken up. It ends up back with a Chipola player. 14 on the shot clock. Kick over to Butler. Butler going to be called for the travel. Tried to hit him with the little stutter step, but lost his footing, and that's going to be another turnover from the Indians to the Raiders.
It's only in the NBA that's not a travel. You could take 4 to 5 steps before you shoot the jumper or lay it up in the NBA. I'll tell you, a lot of what you see in the NBA, I firmly believe is causing the breakdown in the pure fundamentals of the game. It drives me crazy.
Javion Hamlet goes all the way to the rack and is blocked. No foul called underneath, so here come the Indians back the other way. On the inside, the little floater can't get the bounce. Batumba Baruti. Ball rebounded by the Indians. Up and under around with a wraparound pass. Wow. No good. That was Ibrahima Sankari who went with the wraparound pass. Had a couple of Indians underneath, but neither one could get a hand on it. I believe you had two Indians end up fighting. They both thought that the pass was intended for them, and that's a turn. Or excuse me, that ball's going to end up out of bounds. Last touch by the Raiders.
Yeah, we're getting some tough bounces tonight off of the rim on the defensive end of the ball here for the Raiders.
There's Laquan Butler. Trey Diggs D's him up at the top of the key. Butler's just going to walk it in, but he loses the ball on the way up. It comes down back off of Noah Morgan. Butler just lost the handle on the layup, and that was the best thing that happened on possession for the Raiders. Still in Indian basketball, 16 seconds on the shot clock. Inbound is successful to Daniel Oladapo. Oladapo's going to go right at the rack. The right-hander is good. He gets the friendly bounce off the iron, and the Indians back on top, 22-20. Javion Hamlet's going to give it over to Morgan. Morgan goes at it, switches left to right, but he can't get the layup to fall. Tough shot in the air to transition from his left hand to his right hand and over a defender. Noah Morgan couldn't get it to go. Back on the other end, the bucket is good. Daniel Oladapo went right at Kane Henry, took the foul, and gets it to go. So far, Jeff, the Indians playing good basketball on their end of the floor. They're taking advantage of every possession. They're going right after the weak spot in the Raider defense anytime that it appears. Indians squarely in control of this matchup. Only a 4-point lead, but the Indians are doing everything right, which is not something we've been used to the last few games at home against these Raider basketball men.
Well, right now they're just out physical in this, if that's a word. That's not a word. Out. They're playing far more physical than we are.
There you go. It's that Alabama education at its finest.
Actually, my education is mostly from Florida. But anyhow.
We're trying not to claim you.
Same school you went to.
Yeah, I know.
Anyhow.
Eric Vila puts the ball on the floor.
There we go.
And goes left-handed straight. Look at my man go. You're not going to see many 6'11 guys at this level put the ball in the left hand, Jeff McDonald.
They should just let Vila run point.
Just let him be the point. He can shoot. He can drive. He can distribute.
Let's post Hamlet up. Let Vila run the point. And let's see what happens. Man.
Batumba Baruti can't get the layup to go. Rebound brought down by Eric Vila. Back the other way goes Javion Hamlet. Over to Noah Morgan for three. No good. In and out. Chipola with the rebound.
Yeah, tough start from the floor for Noah Morgan here tonight.
Butler wraps it up top to Baruti. Back to Butler. Brendan Foley, head coach for Chipola, calling out plays from the sideline. 14 on the shot clock. Pass goes inside to Christian Lorne, who's going to try to go around Anthony Mason, but there's a lot of Anthony Mason to try to go around, and that idea did not work for the Indians.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though. Number 10, Christian Lorne from Chipola. I'm having a hard time tonight, Rob. People forgive me. But he is a physical monster in there. He might not be quite as big as Mason, but he is just extremely physical.
Looking over at Tyree Jackson on the end of the bench. He's working that ankle out, stretching it. You got to wonder if maybe he just rolled it over as an Indian player. Malik Zachary goes to the ground. The ball will stay on that end of the floor. We'll keep an eye on Tyree as he stretches those ankles out, see if he makes his return to the basketball game, but has his right shoe off as he stretches out that ankle. So if he does, it won't be anytime soon as we've got a foul called underneath.
That was a 5-second call.
I assumed it was a foul because Javion Hamlet had a look on his face of absolute disgust as he was staring down the official. So he thinks that count may have just come a little quicker than he would have liked as the Indians work the ball back down to this side of the floor.
If the camera was on my face, you would see the very same look, Rob.
Up and under, tough shot from Keyshawn Bruton, but he somehow gets it to fall. Smile on his face because he knew that was a prayer. Here's Eric Vila, thought he might spot up with a three, instead sets the screen for Duarte, rolls down to the basket. Duarte hangs on to the ball, though, calls up Anthony Mason for the reset. Inside to Vila. Vila's able to get a tall pass, but he goes up and hangs on to it. And a foul is going to be called on Batumba Baruti against Eric Vila.
Yeah, we're going to start getting to the line here shortly, Rob Brown. And I think the more and more physical this game gets, the more you're going to see these fouls continue to crank up here. And eventually we'll be getting to the line. Hopefully we knock down some free throws here tonight. So far, 4 from 4, so not too bad.
Some of Baruti's first foul on the evening. Here's Javion Hamlet working the ball at the top of the key. Kicks it on over to Noah Morgan. Morgan's going to drive down to the baseline, but he loses the handle. Tried to go left-handed, picked his eyes up. I think he was looking to see if Duarte was going to follow him on the other side for the little trailing pass, and he just lost the basketball.
Yeah, like I said, rough start. We really need Noah to get going here, make a difference for us in this half.
After that turnover, Noah Morgan's going to head to the bench, replaced by Trey Diggs. We're also going to see number 24, Sam Baker, check in for the first time. He'll replace Chris Duarte. 10 points for Duarte to start the game. Daniel Oladapo in the backcourt for the Indians. Number 3, Malik Zachary back there with him, as well as the Raiders are in that full court press.
Yeah, just a little pressure now from the Raiders, maybe trying to force some turnovers, but
not like that. Malik Zachary just goes right to the rack, and not a single Raider contested it. So he gets the easy left-hand layup. Indians up 6, 6:42 on the clock. Javion Hamlet slowing the offense down this time around, letting it get set up. There's Baker over in the corner, up top to Anthony Mason to reset the offense. Back to Baker. Baker looks to the right. He's going to drive. Skips it out to Eric Vila for another 3. No good. That one's just off to the left. Sam Baker with a hustle, but he just can't get it there. Baker was trying to save that ball on a wing and a prayer, but it hits the line on its way out. So another turnover by the Raiders after the Vila missed 3. Raiders down 6, not a position they found themselves many times this season, and not at all at home so far in conference play, as the long jumper is knocked down by Malik Zachary. Zachary's got 6 points so far. Here's Javion Hamlet. Hamlet running the offense at the top of the key. Kicks it on over to Baker. Baker back across to Vila. Back up to Hamlet. Hamlet's looking inside for Mason. Nice pass.
Yeah,
can't do it any better than that.
Good job.
Nice little finesse pass. He waited for Anthony Mason to get his man on his back, and he just kind of floated it over. Now we got a call against Anthony Mason and a technical foul call against number 42. We'll see if we can get a look on the replay at what happened there, but I did not see anything worth a technical, unless Anthony Mason said something, but he made the basket, so I guess maybe he was asking for an offensive foul and the referee took exception to it, but no idea why they would have teed up number 42 on that one. His first foul of the night. See if we can't get a story on that. Jeff, I can only assume he must have said something in passing on the way by one of the referees who heard him and didn't like the language he used.
Yeah, that's all you could assume. Unfortunately, this game's kind of taken on the same look of the ladies' game in the first half. It's a little ugly, kind of on both ends right now. And, you know, the game's getting pretty physical, getting some ticky-tack fouls now. And then, of course, the technical here on Anthony Mason. It'd be nice to figure out exactly what happened there, but you don't like to see that.
So with just over 5.5 minutes left to play here in the first half, the Raiders find themselves at a 6-point disadvantage, 30-24, Indians in control, and with a chance to grow the lead after that foul from Anthony Mason. That is going to give a couple of free throws to the Indians of Chipola. Getting our stat update here, 12 of 22 are the Indians, 9 of 22 are the Raiders. They're 2 of 8 from behind the stripe. How about this? 5 of 6 from deep are the Indians. Keyshawn Bruton's knocked down the majority of those. That's really the big difference in the game, is the outstanding three-point shooting to start from Chipola.
We're right here now, Rob. All right, there you go.
Production at its finest, Jeff. We're learning something new every game.
We're professionals, ladies and gentlemen. But no, you're right. Bruton is single-handedly controlling this game.
4 of 5 from behind the arc, 5 of 7 from the floor.
He's got over half the points for Chipola right now. So what do we need to do? We got to get a hand in his face, slow him down, and we got to do a better job of knocking down some shots on our end of the floor as well.
So I guess there are no free throws with this technical foul.
He just made it.
Oh, he did? Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking over. Listen, my man RJ Murdoch is over here. He's got all kinds of new toys. He's got his new remote camera hooked up to the Xbox controller. I'm watching RJ work his magic over here, and I'm missing basketball. I blame RJ Murdoch, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen. I do.
I need you to step your game up, Rob Brown. Yeah, I would still love to know what happened, where that tech came from. I don't know, maybe an official got his feelings hurt. I guess that's the case.
That's why they pay us the medium bucks, ladies and gentlemen.
Big time.
Oh, Eric Vila, welcome to the block party, young man. And a shot clock violation is a turnover. Eric Vila stepped up, shaking his head, Dikembe Mutombo style. Not in my house, not tonight.
Yeah, that's what it's going to take from these Raiders right now, Rob. They're just going to have to get, they're going to have to get upset. They're going to have to get a little angry. They're going to have to start playing with a little chip on their shoulder and stand up to these bullies that have come from Chipola and show them that we're not going to take that mess here at Raider Arena.
And a little drama to it tonight, J-Mac.
Hey, listen, these guys have come here, and I was talking to one of our ladies' assistant coaches after their ball game before this one, and he was just sharing with me that, all the calls we saw in that first ball game. Apparently, last time they went to Chipola, it was just a very nasty game, very few calls. Chipola was playing very physical, maybe borderline dirty. And so they took some of that video, they sent it off to the officials, and you saw that made a difference tonight. So that's why we were seeing so many whistles. So far I'm looking over here in this ball game, and I'm seeing a little bit of the same from the men from Chipola trying to bully our guys around this floor, and we just can't have that. And that's what you need right there is, Eric Vila stepping up and swatting that mess. And let's get this thing turned around.
Vila misses the first free throw after he was fouled on the way to the rack. He strings the second one through.
Let me ask you this, Rob Brown. How do you stop a bully?
Well, if you're playing basketball, you punch him right in the mouth.
Punch him right in the mouth. That's what we got to do.
Feisty Jeff McDonald on your color commentary this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Chipola back in control of the basketball game by 6, 31-25, 4.5 left to play in the first half. That three-pointer is up and no good. Keyshawn Bruton tries to draw the foul. He actually got that call earlier in the night. There's a big block. Batumba Baruti comes up and sends Javion Hamlet back to the floor. Back the other way comes Chipola, and the reverse layup from Keyshawn Bruton is good. Trey Diggs over in the corner. He'll spot up and launch a three. Book it. It's all strings. The first of the night for Trey Diggs is money, and a timeout called by the Raiders as they bring it back to within 5 on that long-range three from Trey Diggs. He spotted up right in front of the Chipola bench and just left that shooter's hand up in the air as the ball goes strings. His first of the night for Trey Diggs.
Yeah, before that, we're like 2 for 8 from the three-point line. So that's what's missing here tonight. It's allowing Chipola to pack inside that three-point arc and pressure the paint. And we got to knock down some shots to relieve some of that pressure. So Trey Diggs can get heated up. That'll go a long way of opening things up. Make some room in there for Eric Vila, Anthony Mason, Chris Duarte to drive, and Hamlet to drive and get some open lanes. So it's huge for that shot to fall. So let's keep them coming.
Three-point shooting has been a specialty of this team so far this year, but with Tyree Jackson out with that busted ankle, and again, we're waiting to see if we can get an update on him. He does have his right shoe back on. He is back up and walking along the bench, is now sitting back on the bench, and seems to be at least willing to stretch and move that ankle. So he probably just, if I had to guess, and I'm not a doctor, nor did I stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night, but I would suspect he probably rolled his ankle coming down with that rebound earlier. We'll see if Tyree makes his way back out of the game to add that three-point threat to the floor. Indians with the basketball again. Just under 4 minutes left to play in the first half. Malik Zachary with the basketball. He's joined now by Cameron Gooden, his first action of the evening for the Indians. Batumba Baruti there up top. Also in the game, Ibrahima Sankari, as that three-pointer is no good. Daniel Oladapo there as well. That is Oladapo with the putback and the foul. And he'll head to the stripe to earn 3 the old-fashioned way after putting his team back up 35-28.
Here's what's happening right there. Yeah, the ball's taking some bad bounces off the rim, but our guys are immediately just jumping, responding to the shot, watching it off the rim, getting vertical. Instead, keep your feet on the floor, put your rear end on somebody. And I said this during the ladies' game, and just bulldoze them out of the paint. The ball will literally fall in your lap. We got to do a better job of blocking out those boards. We've got great athletes in there, and they can get up and they can just snatch rebounds out. But right now, we got to put a body on somebody.
Trey Diggs, another look at the three. Got it. It's all strings. Trey Diggs, back-to-back threes. Approaching the 3-minute mark, and the Raiders have cut the lead down to 4 on back-to-back Trey Diggs three-pointers. Niceville's own. And I believe you challenged him for 4 this evening, if I recall, Jeff McDonald. There's another turnover. No, but it's going to stay with the Indians. Thought that it was last touched by a team in goal, but they say that Noah Morgan got a finger on it on its way out of bounds.
Yeah, that's something a few weeks back. I love Trey, man. He's a great kid. And I was just messing around with him before a game. I said, Trey, I need to see you knock down some shots tonight, and told him I wanted 3. That night he knocked down, I believe, 3 or 4. The next week I said I wanted 5. He knocked down 6. Tonight I told him 4. So naturally I'm looking for 5. Great defensive stand from the Raiders right there, Rob.
Trey Diggs goes onto the ground. The ball gets batted around him. While he did not come up with a steal, he forced the shot clock violation and a turnover. That is 12 turnovers created by the Raiders, only giving the ball away 4 times so far. So that number leaning towards the Northwest Florida State College Raiders this evening as we approach 2.5 left to play in the first half. Javion Hamlet works the ball around to Chris Duarte. Check back into the game. Over to Diggs, outside to Vila, who's going to run around the three-point line. Hands it over to Hamlet, who's going to go up and under the reverse layup, and one. The left-handed reverse layup for Javion Hamlet is money, and he'll head to the stripe.
And again, that's huge. Like I said, you watch the shots begin to fall from the perimeter, and that it begins to open up these lanes for some drives and penetration. Great job by Hamlet avoiding the block with a reverse layup and finishing at the rim like he always does for us. So good thing to see him get going now.
Hamlet's free throw is no good. Bounces out. Noah Morgan tried to get the second chance, but could not hang on to the basketball. Belongs to the Indians once again. They have a 2-point lead now. It's been as high as 8. Eric Vila was in a one-on-one fight with Ibrahima Sankari, but Sankari ends up with the point-blank range layup there. 2 minutes left on the clock in the first half. Javion Hamlet at the point. Hamlet looks left. Vila struck down the lane. Trey Diggs another three. No good on that one. Just off to the left, and we're coming back the other way with Chipola.
It looked good, and when you're feeling it, you definitely want to put it up when you got some room. So not mad at that shot.
Vila versus Oladapo has been a fun little matchup underneath the glass. Vila wins that one. Hamlet to the rack. Throws one up. It won't go. He hits the deck hard. Pops immediately back up and walks that one up. A little grimace, and that's one of those ones, J-Mac, that sometimes you just got to get back up off the deck to show everybody it didn't hurt. Even if it did, he went down hard.
He did, though. Now, notice this. Have we had a game, Rob, where Hamlet has had on the same pair of shoes?
I don't think so. Actually, him and Eric Vila both tonight in some new fresh white Nikes.
I'm not feeling those, if I'm being honest.
See, I'm a classic guy. I like them. They got the color scheme matches. They're clean and white. I like those.
I'm not feeling them. But my man has got a collection. But, you know, I had a chance to meet his father, who's here for that sophomore night. He walked up and just wanted to give us a little credit, thank us for the job that we're doing here. And such a gentleman. But if you see him over there sitting on the sideline, man, he is a sharp-dressed brother. You feel me?
I enjoy watching him because
sharp-dressed man.
He is not sitting very often when Javion Hamlet's on the floor. That's a proud Papa Bear watching his boy ball out just a little bit. Noah Morgan now with the basketball as that Bucket is good. 1 minute left to play, 40-35. Tyree goes with the left hand, but he can't get it to fall. Tyree's first action back in the game after he had that issue with the right angle earlier. Right to the rack up against Vila goes Cameron Gooden. Not a good idea, young man. When he outweighs you and when he's got you by 14 inches of height, you might not want to go at that guy. You want to keep an eye on that young man. Trey Diggs with his third three. Knocks it down, and the Raiders are within 2 with half a minute to play in the first half.
This kid is just confident. Just pump, let the man fly by, take a dribble, gather yourself, and just let it fly.
We've seen so many shooters who would just immediately turn and jack that thing up. Trey Diggs composed himself, found his shot, found his stroke. The rebound's good. 12 seconds. Raiders have an opportunity to tie or take the lead into halftime. 7 seconds. Here's Javion Hamlet working one-on-one. He's going to drive into the lane and fouled on his way with 1.8 seconds left to go in the half. Javion Hamlet draws the knock on the arm in the paint. And Hamlet's going to get a pair with the opportunity to square this thing up at halftime.
Yes, sir. Again, knock down the perimeter shots, open up the lane. Hamlet taking advantage of that, getting to the rim, drawing the foul. Hopefully about to knock down 2 free throws.
Hamlet's first free throw is good. And it's a 1-point basketball game. Javion Hamlet's got one more to tie this thing up as we head into halftime.
Who was he pointing at? All these fans he has out there. He just
Second free throw, no good. Short irons it. And with 1 second left, a full court half heave is going to be well short. So the Raiders trail by one, had an opportunity to tie it. Hamlet knocks down the front end, but not the back, and that's where we'll end. The lead was as many as 8 points about midway through the first half. But then the Raiders came storming back. Trey Diggs knocks down 3 big three-pointers. That built the momentum for the Raiders, and just like that, we got a 1-point basketball game, Jeff McDonald, but plenty that the Raiders can improve on in the second half. Work on those rebounds, knock down those short-range jumpers, and more importantly, spread that Indian defense out. They are collapsing the defenses, Chipola. It's preventing Eric Vila, Anthony Mason, and Luigi from doing anything in the middle, and when you take that part away from the Raiders' game, it's created this issue. So there's a lot to do, a lot to improve on. Here's what we're going to do, things a little bit differently. We're going to hang on to your halftime stats, give you those before we start the second half of action. We're going to send it out to the floor now as our Lady Raider basketball team is going to be presented for sophomore night. I'm Rob Brown, he's Jeff McDonald, RJ Murdoch, and the cast and crew of Emerald Coast TV, bringing you all the Raider action. We'll give you our lady sophomores here in just a moment. Then we'll come back and get your stats run for the second half. Thanks for watching Raider basketball on Emerald Coast TV.
A vacation you can count on. Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Okaloosa Island. Visit emeraldcoastfl.com.
This is where you live, learn, and play. Northwest Florida State College now offers a degree in hospitality and tourism, where you can train with a nationally recognized college in a globally recognized resort area. This is where you start building the foundation for your future. This is Northwest Florida, and the best is our standard. Visit bearaider.com to learn more.
Did you know Northwest Florida State College waives all state, college, and course fees for all active duty military tuition assistance students? NWF is committed to serving our military. Visit nwfsc.edu or call 850-678-5111 to learn more. Register today to design your future at Northwest Florida State College.
A vacation you can count on. Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Okaloosa Island. Visit emeraldcoastfl.com.
This is where you live, learn, and play. Northwest Florida State College now offers a degree in hospitality and tourism, where you can train with a nationally recognized college in a globally recognized resort area. This is where you start building the foundation for your future. This is Northwest Florida, and the best is our standard. Visit bearaider.com to learn more.
Did you know Northwest Florida State College waives all state, college, and course fees for all active duty military tuition assistance students? NWF is committed to serving our military. Visit NWFSC.edu or call 850-678-5111 to learn more. Register today to design your future at Northwest Florida State College.
A vacation you can count on. Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Okaloosa Island. Visit emeraldcoastfl.com.
This is where you live, learn, and play. Northwest Florida State College now offers a degree in hospitality and tourism, where you can train with a nationally recognized college in a globally recognized resort area. This is where you start building the foundation for your future. This is Northwest Florida, and the best is our standard. Visit bearaider.com to learn more.
Did you know Northwest Florida State College waives all state, college, and course fees for all active duty military tuition assistance students? NWF is committed to serving our military. Visit NWFSC.edu or call 850-678-5111 to learn more. Register today to design your future at Northwest Florida State College.
A vacation you can count on. Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Okaloosa Island. Visit emeraldcoastfl.com.
This is where you live, learn, and play. Northwest Florida State College now offers a degree in hospitality and tourism, where you can train with a nationally recognized college in a globally recognized resort area. This is where you start building the foundation for your future. This is Northwest Florida, and the best is our standard. Visit bearaider.com to learn more.
Did you know Northwest Florida State College waives all state, college, and course fees for all active duty military tuition assistance students? NWF is committed to serving our military. Visit NWFSC.edu or call 850-678-5111 to learn more. Register today to design your future at Northwest Florida State College.
A vacation you can count on. Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Okaloosa Island. Visit emeraldcoastfl.com.
This is where you live, learn, and play. Northwest Florida State College now offers a degree in hospitality and tourism, where you can train with a nationally recognized college in a globally recognized resort area. This is where you start building the foundation for your future. This is Northwest Florida, and the best is our standard. Visit bearaider.com to learn more.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Raider Arena, where we are just moments away from tip-off of the second half of this men's college basketball game between the Northwest Florida State College Raiders and the Indians of Chipola College. It's a one-point basketball game. The Raiders on top. The Raiders trail by 1. The Indians on top. Not a familiar position for Northwest Florida State. For all the basketball games we've seen here so far, Jeff McDonald, we've seen the Raiders be in some dogfights, but they always seem to be in the lead. Tonight's the first night they've really been challenged. Down by 8 at one point, but they fought back to make it a one-point game at the end of the half. They're going to need to bring that same level of effort to start the second half to make this a ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, I think Chipola played their absolute best half that they could there, and us not so much. Definitely struggled, but you saw us kind of get heated up there near the end of the first half, and if we can keep that up, we'll be just fine.
So here we go. We are back underway. Chipola will start with the basketball. Over to the corner for a Baruti three-point effort. It's airballed well over the top of the rim, right into the waiting hands of Chris Duarte. Into Hamlet. Hamlet's going to have a look. Instead, he'll kick it over to Tyree. Tyree drives and goes around with the underhanded layup. Flips it to the other hand and kisses it off the glass. Tough shot from Tyree, but well manipulated in the air to make it go.
He just gets up so high. The kid has just got ups for days.
And is only fitting, Keyshawn Bruton opens up the second half with another three-pointer. That is 20 points for Keyshawn Bruton, who has been a monster from the three-point line. He is now 5 of 7 from range. Chris Duarte loses the handle, able to get it back over to Javion Hamlet. 5 on the shot clock. Hamlet's going to drive, goes up with the left hand, but rejected by a pair of Indians. Hamlet's going to try to get the ball back. Lucky he wasn't called for a foul there. Kick over to the corner. Bruton's going to go up against Vila. Can't get it to go. Kind of tough to muscle his way in there. Eric Vila took a shot to the chest, and he is still down on the other end of the floor. Never actually attacked the basket. He kind of bent over and took in a breather at the free throw line on the defensive side of the basketball after taking that shoulder from Keyshawn Bruton the last time down. Similar to what we saw happen to Jaden McCoy back in the women's game. Just knocked the breath out of him, and he needed to reset as that little running layup is good.
Yeah, not a great start so far to this second half for the Raider men. We've got to do a better job of shutting down those deep shots from Bruton once again. And again, we got to find a way to finish at the rim.
Noah Morgan for 3. Book it. It's good. Right in the face of Daniel Oladapo for Trey. For Noah Morgan. Answers the Bruton 3, and it's back to a one-point basketball game.
Yeah, Noah Morgan's first bucket of the night. Right on time.
Tyree over to Chris Duarte for the wide-open 3. Strings! Chris Duarte!
I do believe that's our first lead of the night, Rob Brown.
It is indeed the first lead of the night. The Raiders up 47-45 on back-to-back threes from Morgan and Duarte. It's 47-45, Northwest Florida State. You mentioned that as a key to the second half. Jeff McDonald was coming out, getting those three-pointers working as that little bank shot is good from Malik Zachary. Tough to stop that. You mentioned having the three-point working. We're 2 for 2 to start the half and now have the lead back because of it as Duarte fires another one and gets the bounce. The home team bounce is good, and the three-pointer is good for a three-point lead from Chris Duarte.
Duarte.
There's a hustle play from Chris Duarte. Wanted the call against Batumba Baruti. Duarte was making the argument that Baruti had it go off his arm, but it stays with the Indians. Malik Zachary back at the point.
Duarte becoming far more active right now in the beginning of this half.
And the foul's going to be called against Noah Morgan. Ibrahim Sankari went straight at the rack after taking the basketball in on a short pass at the top of the key. He just put his head down and drove. Morgan had his hands up in the air, but that's going to be called a body foul on the floor, and 2 shots headed to Ibrahim Sankari. First free throw is good. All strings on the way through. Substitution made. Malik Zachary is going to head to the bench. He will be replaced by Laquan Butler. Butler has 6 points on the night. Keyshawn Bruton, 20 points so far out of number 4 for Chipola. Second free throw is also good for Sincari. Back to a 1-point game. Raiders on top, 50-49. 3.5 minutes done here in the second half. Javion Hamlet has that pass stolen by Baruti. He just jumped right in the passing lane. Baruti coast to coast and throws it down one-handed with authority. Good defense from Batumba Baruti, and the exclamation point at the other end.
He got the help of a little bit of a push-off there on his way to the basket. Surprising no call there.
There's Chris Duarte waiting on the screen from Vila. Vila's going to roll to the rack with the mismatch. Duarte fires the three and airballs that one off to the right. Here comes Bruton, leading scorer in the game for both teams. Back up top to Laquan Butler. Butler to Baruti. Baruti's going to drive. The right-hander won't go. Rebounded by Oladapo, and we are going to have a foul called. Looks like against Tyree Jackson, and it is. That's Tyree's first personal of the evening.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see Tyree get going here in this half. Maybe get him some open looks, knock down some shots, get him going.
Speaking of Tyree, Bruton just ran right into the chest, but no foul called on either squad, and Oladapo just goes baseline, jumps up, didn't slam it through, but had every ability to do so as his head was almost up to the rim on that one.
Yeah, nice drive, baseline.
Chipola doing everything right. They're taking, the Raiders aren't really playing poor defense. It's just that Chipola's moving the ball well, waiting for the weak spot to open up and taking advantage of it. Here's Eric Vila. He's going to go up with the right hand. Can't get it to go. Goes down to the deck hard, but fouled on the way up. So Eric Vila earns a pair from the stripe. That foul's going to go against Ibrahim Sincari.
That's 3 fouls on him. It'd be a great idea to keep going right at these guys, get them in some foul trouble here.
So here's Vila. He's going to earn a couple from the stripe. First effort is up and bottom. Eric Vila so far with 11 points and 6 rebounds on the night. Got an assist and a steal to go alongside it.
See, watch Vila at the line when I talk about process and just how he goes through a routine at the line. And I think that's really helpful to kind of just gather yourself, get you to focus on the shot and knock it down. He does a great job at the line.
Second free throw, short irons it, no good, rims in and out.
I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
You're like the opposite of Dick Vitale. Jump shot, long, no good, off for Laquan Butler, rebounded by Vila. Up to Javion Hamlet. Hamlet's got Luigi ahead of him. Give it back to Vila. Vila's going to drive right through the lane. Finger roll won't go. Rebounded by Chipola. And here comes Keyshawn Bruton the other way. He's going to run right by Luigi and lay it up on the right hand. Luigi rolled his ankle there too, just like Tyree did earlier. Luigi limped on that right foot. Suspect we're going to see a substitution for him here in just a moment, but the Raiders now back down by 4. And a timeout going to be called by Coach DeMayo. That's going to get Luigi back off the floor. We're going to see Trey Diggs check in and replace him. Chris Duarte's out there still, as is Tyree, Javion Hamlet, and Eric Vila. Is Chris Duarte, who's got a couple of big buckets earlier. 16 points on the night for him. That three-pointer earlier really kind of built some momentum for the Raiders, but the Indians have answered since. Trey Diggs back up to Hamlet. Hamlet working with Tyree. Trey Diggs in the backcourt. Chris Duarte and Eric Vila in the front court. Javion Hamlet with the step back, left-handed jumper, and it's money. 2-point basketball game with 14 on the clock. Raider Arena starting to come alive here in Niceville as the Raider faithful know that they need a couple of stops, and I think that Christian Lauren got away with a little push there on the inside.
Yeah, Vila just needs to flop, and maybe we'll get the call.
It worked earlier.
Seems to be the theme here tonight.
4-point game again. Here's Javion Hamlet. He's going to drive to the left, pull it back out. Another change of direction. Kicked it over to Tyree, but Tyree's momentum was going down to the corner. The pass did not. And that's another turnover. Raiders trail by 4.
Yeah, great idea. He was there, he slid down closer to the corner, and Hamlet didn't see that and anticipate it.
Oladapo with a spin move against Eric Vila. Vila knocks it out of his hands, comes up with the steal. Here's Chris Duarte. Over to Eric Vila, back to Tyree. Tyree just cuts into the basket. Good move from Tyree Jackson. Saw the crack in the defense, puts his head down, goes straight to the glass. Great move.
Explosive move to the basket. Realized the lane opened up. Instead of handing it off, just took it to the basket and strong with the left hand.
Tumba Baruti up at the three-point line working against Duarte. A little stop and pop jumper, but no good. Eric Vila with the rebound, and the Raiders a chance to tie the ball game.
Yeah, I was just going to say what you said there. Vila doing a better job cleaning up the boards right now.
Tyree thought about it. Eric Vila did go to the floor on that, trying to draw the foul, but no call. Tyree goes to the rack and gets it blocked. He slides about 8 feet before coming to a stop and being able to get back up. Here they come back the other way to the Indians, and that's going to be a foul called from behind against Trey Diggs. Christian Lorne did not have a lot of room to operate. I thought he just got stuffed by the rim, but the foul's going to come against Niceville's own. That's the second foul on Trey Diggs. Going to have a platoon substitution coming here for Chipola. 3 fresh players coming on. Noah Morgan is going to make his way back onto the hardwood as well. Lawrence' first free throw is good, gets the friendly bounce.
Yeah, great effort there by Tyree. Helping us keep in this ball game.
Second free throw is good for Christian Lorne. Javion Hamlet will stay in. Chris Duarte, Eric Vila, Noah Morgan has checked in for Tyree. Trey Diggs is in the front court as well, coming off the screen. Looking inside for Duarte, can't get him. He's going to have to put the ball on the ground. Instead, he gives it to Duarte. Duarte looking for Morgan on the screen and roll. The Chipola Indians doing a good job of covering up the screen and roll. Duarte with the jumper, won't go, but he gets his own rebound, loses it, regains possession. Back up top. And a fresh shot clock for Javion Hamlet and the Raiders. There's Steve DeMayo calling offensive sets. A couple of screens available. Hamlet does not elect to use either one of them. They pull it back out to the three-point line. Going to go one-on-one. Kick to Duarte. No good. It's short iron. Trey Diggs going to fight, but a foul called against Trey Diggs, much to the chagrin of the Raider faithful. And Jeff, I'll say this, like I said, I think we've done a pretty good job remaining impartial, but I did not see any contact at all. Trey Diggs had all basketball as far as I was concerned, and we were right here at the perfect angle to see it.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of staying away from any hint of home cooking.
4-point basketball game with 11:22 showing on the clock, 59-55 Raiders. Indians over the Raiders. It's gone back and forth. The Raiders opened this half with a nice little push. Were able to take the lead, but the Indians have turned back around. Coach DeMayo's over in front of the Raider bench, absolutely livid with the officials for that call on Trey Diggs. And there's still a small smattering of boo birds out here in effect at Raider Arena, not pleased with that foul call against Trey Diggs to end the last possession.
Yeah, I can't say I don't agree with him. Not a banner night for officiating here at Raider Arena, but like I said, it's not often I would give them credit either way.
Raiders 19 of 41 from the floor, 8 of 17 from behind the arc, spurred by 3 of 5 for Trey Diggs and 2 of 4 for Chris Duarte. 17 rebounds, however, only 2 offensive rebounds for the Raiders so far this evening. 7 turnovers and 4 takeaways, 13 turnovers for the Chipola Indians to just 3 takeaways. They're 23 of 47 from the floor, 7 of 13 from range, and 6 of 8 from behind the arc. The Raiders 9 of 13 from the free throw line. Hamlet, Morgan, Diggs, Duarte, and Vila will be your 5 Raiders on the floor to open up this next Chipola possession. That's Malik Zachary with the ball, joined in the front court by Ibrahim Sankari, and a steal there from Noah Morgan, who's got room to work, and he is fouled hard at the basket. Sankari prevents Morgan from throwing that thing down with authority, and that is a big foul. That is going to be the 4th foul against Sankari, who has been a big part of this Indian offense so far. 7 points, 3 rebounds, and a handful of rebounds to go along with it. Sankari's got 4, and it looks like he'll head to the bench.
Yeah, and he's had a pretty strong presence inside the paint on the defensive end as well.
Noah Morgan knocks down the first of a couple, brings the lead back down to just 3 for the Indians. Second free throw is good. So Noah Morgan goes 2 of 2 from the line on that opportunity. Just over 11 minutes left to play in the game. Raiders back in that full court press. Now they'll fall back into a zone. A 2-3 look. Vila, Diggs, and Morgan down low. Duarte and Hamlet up top. The Indians in trouble in the corner, but somehow Zachary finds his way out to reset the offense. Zachary's going to drive. Little one-hand floater. It's good. Tough shot to defend there from Malik Zachary, and he makes it count.
Yeah, we had an opportunity to trap over there in the corner, and Noah, for some reason, backed off. Not sure why.
Davion Hamlet back up to Eric Vila, over to Chris Duarte. Duarte looking for Vila. He's going to step back for the 3. It won't go. No good bounce there. Rebounded by Christian Loring. Indians back in possession. They lead 61-57 with 10:22 on the clock. Layup and 1. That foul's going to be called against Eric Vila, who is pleading his case, and he needs to be careful. We've already seen Anthony Mason, his counterpart on the Raider front court, get teed up there. Eric Vila saying, I did not foul him. I got the ball, and he pulled my arm down, but the official called it. The layup was good for Malik Zachary, and he's got a chance to earn 1 more and stretch this out to a 7-point lead. Free throw is good. 64-57, Indians in control. Javion Hamlet heads back to the bench. Tyreek Jackson will step back in at the point guard position, calling plays from the 1 spot. Chris Duarte with the ball on the wing up to Eric Vila. Vila's looking inside for Noah Morgan, finds him. The ball knocked out of his hands by Cameron Gooden, but Gooden's going to be called for the foul as he went hard into Noah Morgan. Substitutions for the Indians. Mutombo Baruti is going to make his way back out on the floor. He will replace Christian Lorne. So a smaller lineup here for the Indians is Chris Duarte pulling double duty tonight. Playing both power forward and sweeper. Noah Morgan on the inbound. He'll give it up top to Tyree. Over to Duarte, looking for Eric Vila. Kicks it inside, but Oladapo got a hand on it in the passing lane. Back over to Trey. Trey to Vila. Vila to Tyree. Thought about the 3-pointer. Passes up on it. And the stutter step is a travel. Saw that one from here. That right foot came up just long enough for the official to put an eyeball on it. And that's another turnover from the Raiders at a time where they can less and less afford those type of mental errors.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a great look in the second half so far, like we were hoping for. Hoping that we could start off this second half like we finished the first, and so far just haven't seen that spark yet from the Raiders.
Malik Zachary up top. That is Cameron Gooden joining him in the backcourt. Kicks it to the inside. Oladapo goes underneath and over Vila, but he can't get it to go. Second chance opportunity is no good. Third chance opportunity is no good. Mutombo Baruti just couldn't connect. Here comes Tyree back the other way. Over to Trey Diggs. Diggs is trapped in the corner, finds it up to Tyree. Eric Vila over to Duarte on the opposite side. rotate the ball all the way around the floor. Duarte back to Vila outside the three-point line. Vila goes baseline, tried to spin, and ends up traveling that spin move. And Vila needs to be careful. He's getting very emotional out there. Just kicked the basketball, and the official looked for a second like he was going to tee him up, kind of opened his eyes big at him and shook his head a little bit. So I suspect that Eric Vila has probably gotten his last warning before he catches a tee. That's happened a couple of times so far. And I understand the frustration, Jeff McDonald, because the interior play is just not there for the Raiders right now.
No, it's not right now. You know, it might be a good opportunity to get Mason back in the game, get a little physical inside there a little bit, match the physicality that you're seeing from Batumba Baruti and also Christian Loring. They're doing a great job of kind of manhandling the Raiders inside on the offensive and defensive boards. And right there, you know, it looked like Baruti doing a good job getting inside the head of Eric Vila.
Eric Vila very frustrated. This has not been the best game he's had. 11 points, 8 rebounds to go, but the second half has not treated him kindly. The Raiders, 19 of 42 on the floor, shooting just over 45%, so things not really going well on the offensive side. In terms of rebounds, how about this, Jeff McDonald? We're this deep in the game, only 2 offensive rebounds all night for Northwest Florida State College.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good night on the boards. Like I was just saying, we're really kind of getting bullied under there. We need to do a better job of getting a body on somebody, blocking out rather than just going straight up. Again, you see Baruti, number 10, Christian Loring and company in there really creating some problems for the Raiders under the rim.
A couple of substitutions for the Raiders. We're going to see Anthony Mason make his way back onto the floor as Vila will get a rest after the last turnover. Kane Henry is on as well. He'll replace Tyree. So a taller lineup here. Javion Hamlet returns to the game as well. And a timeout called by Chipola as the Raiders had a decent half-court press on and had the ball trapped in the backcourt for the Chipola Indians. They could not get through the press, so a timeout called from the bench is going to reset the 10-second clock for Chipola. They lead 57-64 over the Raiders here at Northwest Florida State College. Jeff, what do you want to see change so far? There's only a couple of things that really are going poorly. No offensive rebounds almost all night long for the Raiders, whereas the Indians are threatening their first dozen already. We've also got a handful of turnovers down low. The interior play just isn't there, and more importantly, the handful of times they've tried, it almost feels so forced that the opportunities just aren't coming like we're used to for the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, 2 things. One, I mean, they're playing a far more physical ball game, and we're not matching that physicality. Secondly, you know, we're a much better team in transition, and we're not getting into transition. That's killing us. So we're not getting the offensive boards, or I'm sorry, we're not getting the rebounds on the defensive end to get ourselves out into transition. So we're having a hard time, and it shows.
Raiders have now switched back to that full court man-to-man. There's Hamlet working one-on-one with his counterpart Malik Zachary. Long-range 3 from Bruton, and he's another one of those cats that it feels like every time he puts one up to the rim, it's going to go in. But Keyshawn Bruton misses that 3, and here's an opportunity for the Raiders. Noah Morgan fakes out the fakes out the defender, kicks inside to Mason. Mason was not ready. I think he thought that Morgan was going to shoot, so he loses the handles, and it's another turnover. Long-range 3 is good for Batumba Baruti. Knocks that one down. 10-point ball game for the Indians.
Yeah, you see it once again inside. You know, one of the things about Mason, love him, great kid, good ball player, but when you get him in the ball game and he's down low and you're trying to penetrate and dish, the hands just are not as solid as you see with Vila. And so when you lose Vila down there on the offensive end, you're going to feel it.
Noah Morgan drives right through the heart of the Indian defense and gets the layup to go, 67-59.
So really what you need right now from Mason while he's in the ball game, you need to up your physicality. You need to go ahead and get a body on somebody, you know, alter the shots of the Indians inside the paint.
Foul called and 1. Malik Zachary gets the leaner against Kane Henry. Henry went up hard and physical with him. Malik Zachary goes to the deck and gets the fall-away layup to go, so we'll have another substitution. Kane Henry's second foul will send him to the bench. Tyree Jackson is going to come back on for the Raiders.
I'll tell you, Malik Zachary all night long has made some tremendous circus shots, and that was another one right there, right in the face of Kane Henry.
Tough shot to defend.
Noah Morgan.
Yep, tough shot to defend from Malik Zachary, who, as you just mentioned, is a guy who has tremendous body awareness. When he goes up in the paint, he seems to not only know where defenders are in relation to his turn towards the basket, but he seems to be able to almost move. It's like he jumps and then can still change direction while he's in the air. He's got that much presence when he's in the air underneath the rack. There's Tyree, the step-back fake, looks for the three. Now he's in trouble, and he finds Javion Hamlet to reset. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Hamlet's going to go in by himself, takes it up with the left hand, and is fouled on his way to the basket. That foul is going to go against Batumbe Baruti. That's the third foul on Baruti. And another substitution as Long will check back in to replace the 6'6 sophomore from the Congo, Batumbe Baruti.
Yeah, Baruti's a little upset right now. So, I mean, honestly, that's a great that's someone you want to take it at right now, getting him out of the game, because Baruti has been killing us on the boards. You look up at the stats, he's got 9 boards and been owning us on the glass most of the night.
Christian Long back in the ball game. 4 points, 3 boards for him. Long, one of the beefiest players that the Raiders have had to square up with all season long. He will just muscle you all the way right down to the rim, and has done so all night tonight. Tyree Jackson one-on-one the defense. The layup will not go for Keyshawn Bruton, and the ball's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Noah Morgan, so it'll stay with the Indians. And one thing I'll say, Jeff McDonald, we've talked about this all year long, and we've had Coach DeMayo agree with us. And again, a very emotional Raider basketball team, and typically that's good news because this team is getting up and down the floor. They're throwing down slam dunks and alley-oops, and the gym gets excited. They get excited, but you can almost feel the frustration tonight, which is not something that we're used to. This team seems to be frustrated as Javion Hamlet goes to the rack and gets a left-hander to go. You can almost feel the frustration, and it somewhat to me feels like it's impacting the way this team is playing.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Just now it kind of livened up a little bit in here, but before that it was extremely quiet. Just kind of an odd feeling in the home gym here.
Malik Zachary went for the right-hand stuff, but he gets rejected by Noah Morgan at the glass, and that's a turnover. Here's Chris Duarte working up top. He's got Tyree Jackson with him. Noah Morgan's in the corner. Duarte with a step-back three. Can't get it to go, but draws the foul, and so Chris Duarte is going to go to the line for 3 free throws. Good body position there. Realized that the defender was really trying to take away that step-back three-pointer. Duarte's got 2 of those so far tonight. He tried to take away that step-back three-pointer, and when he did, Duarte just kind of jumped into him and drew the free throws.
You got it out. Good job. Yeah, what you like about that, too, right now, you're kind of inside the head of the Indians. You know, Christian Lauren, he's a little frustrated after that call. You've already got Baruti on the bench over there frustrated in their head. That's what we need. Right now it's becoming a little bit of a mental chess match, and it's one that we've got to begin to win here. So got to get inside the head of these Indians, kind of shut them down, and should I say shut them up a little bit.
6-point ball game, 69-63. Chipola on top. Chris Duarte, the first of 3 free throws, is good. Couple of substitutions. Batumbe Baruti is going to make his way back onto the floor for Chipola.
See when the officials can.
Quan Butler is waiting to check in as well. It looks like they will make the substitution after the second free throw. Remember, Duarte's got 3, fouled on that lean-in three-pointer. Second free throw is good. Back of the iron and down. It's a 4-point game. Final free throw for Duarte. 3 for 3 from the stripe on that visit, and it is a 3-point basketball game. Felt like the momentum was shifting as Duarte heads to the bench. Eric Vila is going to check back in. He'll join Anthony Mason, so Coach Steve DeMeo going with a taller lineup with both 42 and 10 playing in the front court. And the Raider Arena faithful getting louder as the Raider press is on. The pass underneath to Lorne. Lorne is blocked. Eric Vila with the ball up to Tyree, and the Raiders get the turnover. A chance to tie it up with a three-pointer. And it is the loudest I think we've heard it all season in this gym right now as Javion Hamlet establishes the offense. Over to Noah Morgan. Morgan inside to Vila. Vila working one-on-one on Oladapu. Lauren comes over to help, so he resets up top with Javion Hamlet. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Hamlet's going to drive. He pulls back up 2 on the shot clock. The leaner can't get it to go, and rebounded by Chipola. Everything right except the finish. And that is a ball. Good defense from Eric Vila. The possession arrow to Northwest Florida State. It's a Raider basketball. Anthony Mason and the gang asking the crowd to get up, and they are listening. Well, it got loud in here for just a minute. Javion Hamlet couldn't get the runner to go to beat the shot clock on our end, but back the other way, Eric Vila with the hustle play to get a hand on the ball, get the jump ball, get the ball back into the hands of the Raiders, and a potential opportunity to square this thing up.
Yeah, keep an eye on Chipola. They're starting to get in their head a little bit. Attitudes, I believe, are going to begin to get the best of them here as we get down this home stretch. We continue to play hard and frustrate them on the defensive end of the ball.
Just under 5.5 minutes left to play here in the basketball game. The lead has been as high as 10 for Chipola, back down to just 3, and it's fluctuated back and forth depending on the momentum, which has gone back and forth multiple times. Right now, it goes squarely in the hands of the Raiders, but there's a lot of basketball left, and Chipola has not let, at any point tonight, Northwest Florida State sustain momentum. The Raiders have gone on runs, but every time they do, Chipola seems to pull the ball back, settle down, and reset. We'll see if they try to do the same here.
Hey, Rob Brown, real quick, I'm going to recognize our player of the game tonight. We want to shout out to Sam Baker, number 24, sophomore guard, averaging 3.8 points, 1.2 assists. Who are 3 people you'd like to have dinner with, past or present? They asked him. He said LeBron James, Barack Obama, and Dr. Stevenson. What is your favorite TV show? And if you're wondering, Dr. Stevenson is the president here of Northwest Florida State College. What's your favorite TV show? And I'm with him on this. Criminal Minds. I love that show. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? Bora Bora. Go ahead, big man. If you were an Olympic athlete, what sport would you want to compete in besides basketball?
Eric Vila answers that question. It's the strongman competition. And Eric Vila says, I got you, Sam Baker.
Sam Baker said he would compete in the strongest man competition. And Eric Vila answering the call, flexing on him, Rob Brown. That's what we need.
Sam Baker, as a matter of fact, Sam just looked at Vila and threw the arms up, said flex on him. Big man, Eric Vila with a chance to tie it up. And I have not seen Eric Vila that excited in a while. He was turning to the crowd saying, let's go. Free throw is good. We got a tied basketball game at Raider Arena in Niceville, Florida. Full court press on by the Raiders. Steve DeMeo saying, get this.
There it is.
Tyree came out with like a defensive back. Couldn't get a hand on it. Hustles back, and they'll reset the defense with 5 minutes left to play.
There we
Tyree!
go. Look at the hustle from Tyree Jackson. You got to love it. That's going to fire up this Raider defense.
Tyree tipped the ball out of the hands of Keyshawn Bruton and laid out to try to pull it in before it rolled out of bounds. Unsuccessful, but you're exactly right. And here comes the energy again. My man mopping the floor loves taking a minute to get the crowd up, and they responded. That's exactly what this team needs right now. They are riding a high, and that has not been frequent tonight, Jeff McDonald. The emotions for this team have felt more like frustration than anything, but they've got the momentum right now, and they need to keep it.
Yeah, huge momentum shift right here for the Raiders. That great, strong bucket there from Vila. Knock it down the free throw, and this great full-court pressure creating some problems for the Indians. And we got a rock star out here taking care of mopping up the floor. I'm not quite sure of the young man's name, but he's doing a fantastic job, and certainly the crowd here at Raider Arena showing some love for the effort he's putting in, doing his part here tonight.
Raiders on defense, crowd asking them to play a little more defense. And that's a shot clock turnover. Raider basketball, tied basketball game, 4:42, 69 apiece. Eric Vila and the gang are hype. Javion Hamlet working the ball at the top of the key, sends Chris Duarte through. There's Tyree Jackson on the opposite side, inside to Vila. Vila to Duarte. He goes baseline, skips it over to Hamlet. Hamlet for the three. Can't get it to go, and Eric Vila tries to get the rebound. Can't get to it. 4:18 left to play Chipola basketball. Straight left-handed, won't go, and the foul is going to get called. That was Malik Zachary on the left-hand drive, and the foul is going to take a little air out of the building after that missed three-pointer from Javion Hamlet.
I tell you, Malik Zachary just so quick, so crafty, getting to the basket and getting the ball up, drawing the foul.
15 points for Zachary, 3 rebounds to go. First free throw is no good off the iron. Second free throw is good. Rings in. It's a one-point basketball game.
Oh, my goodness.
Substitution on the floor. Officials miss the substitution, so Trey Diggs will have to stay at the scorer's table for a moment. Javion Hamlet with the basketball. Noah Morgan, Eric Vila, Chris Duarte, Tyree Jackson all on the floor with him. Baseline goes Noah, and he is fouled. And we're going to call that a shooting foul. Noah Morgan went up in the air in between two Chipola players who both collapsed on him, caught him across the arms, and Noah Morgan's got the opportunity to give the Raiders the lead. Trey Diggs made his way back to the bench, so no substitution here as Morgan's free throw is good. And he's got one more with a chance to give the Raiders the lead. Trey Diggs back at the score table. He is going to replace Noah Morgan, the shooter. Coach DeMayo sends his defenders back into their own territory. Chris Duarte, the only rebounder for the Raiders. Don't need him, though, because Noah Morgan knocks down the second free throw and gives the Raiders a 71-70 lead. Inside of 4 minutes to play. Some love for Awatrasi from the ladies team over here in the cheerleaders section. Getting those pom-poms up in the air for the men's team. Skip to the outside. Bruton puts up the floater. Wow. Won't go. Up for grabs. Rebounded by Chipola and swarmed.
Got an official down.
Yeah, we did. Got swarmed by Javion Hamlet there, and it looks like it's going to be a foul called on number 3. That ball looked up for grabs, and Hamlet attacked it. That's the second foul on Javion Hamlet this evening. We'll take a second to get the hardwood underneath the basket dried up. We saw, like Jeff pointed out, the official took a dive trying to change direction to move back and make that foul call. Ended up on the floor. So we'll get that dried up and reset with Daniel Oladapo at the line for Chipola.
See the officials over there earning his paycheck, cleaning up the floor.
He's had both head coach Brendan Foley of Chipola and Steve DeMayo of Northwest Florida State in his ear all night long. So trying to make amends for that, I'm sure. Crowd very loud at Raider Arena, and Oladapo's free throw is good. In the single bonus, both squads shooting 1 and 1 for every foul on the way out here. We're all square at 71. Oladapo with a chance to put Chipola back up by 1. Can't do it. Rebounded by Chris Duarte. And the Raiders, with a 71-71 game, have the basketball. 3.5 showing on the clock. Javion Hamlet waits for the pick for Duarte. Spins back to the inside. Left-hander. Won't go.
Finish.
Tough shot for Javion Hamlet, won't go. Chipola rebounds, we're back the other way. Bruton with another 3. He has just owned the three-point line and puts a finger up to the mouth in front of the Raider crowd after drilling a 3 and opening the game back up 74-71 to Chipola.
Might be a little premature for the hushing of the crowd, but that's going to be up to the Raiders to decide. So we've got to stay on him. Certainly can't give him open looks. Tough miss down here on the other end from Hamlet. Great job getting to the basket, just unable to finish.
Got Awa Trossi down with the cheerleaders, getting her groove on. It's sophomore night, and she is celebrating, helping get the crowd up.
Yeah, we certainly can't lose any energy here. We need all the energy we can get in here at the home court. Kind of will these Raiders to a victory.
22 of 48 from the floor are the Raiders. They are 8 of 19 from behind the arc. Chris Duarte, 2 of 5. 3 of 5 is Trey Diggs from out deep. 19 of 23 from the stripe this evening. 24 rebounds. We talked about the offensive rebounds. They had 2 to start the half. Still at only 2 offensive rebounds for the Raiders. Just not working the glass on the offensive side. And when you don't have second opportunities, you find yourself in this fight. There's young Awa Trossi right there with the cheerleaders. 10 turnovers, 6 takeaways for the Raiders. 28 of 62 are the Indians. 9 of 16 from deep, including 6 of 9 for Keyshawn Bruton. Eric Vila gets the ball taken right out of his hands. There's the transition basket, and the layup left-handed is good for Keyshawn Bruton. Back end to Javion Hamlet. Hamlet's going to go at the rack and get fouled in the air. So Hamlet has an opportunity with his team now trailing by 5. That was a disaster of a turnover for Eric Vila at maybe the worst opportunity in this ball game right now, as we're now under 3 minutes. Just a minute ago, the Raiders had the lead. Now they're trailing by 5, and the momentum swung back to Chipola.
Yeah, Brewer coming in and just taking this game back over.
Hamlet gets the friendly bounce. Substitution is Noah Morgan's going to check in and replace Trey Diggs. Tyree Jackson, Noah Morgan, Eric Vila, Chris Duarte, and Javion Hamlet all on the floor for the Raiders. Second free throw is good. It's a 3-point basketball game. Raiders back to the full court press.
This is who you want to pressure right here. Not much of a ball handler at the top of the key is number 5.
Abraham Sankari.
There you go.
Back to Malik Zachary. Back up to Sankari. He'll give it back to Zachary. 10 on the shot clock. Zachary drives against Hamlet, kicks it over to the corner.
Good
Eric Vila with the takeaway. Up to Tyree Jackson. Tyree's going to stop, reset.
Oh, good look.
Over to Vila. Boom! Bucket! It's good! The Spaniard ties the ball game at 76 apiece with 2:15 to play, and they are on their feet at Raider Arena. Eric Vila is loud, my friends.
Great job by Tyree Jackson, just handling them to sleep and then giving it up to Eric Vila to knock down the 3.
And we have got some emotion now. Sankari came over to the Raider bench and got into it with Chris Duarte. They had to be separated. Then the coaches started jawing at each other. They had to be separated. And now the officials are talking to both teams, saying we don't see any more of that. It is heated in here after Eric Vila. And I can see why. After Vila knocked down that three, the Raiders started throwing an almost open celebration when the timeout got called right in front of the Indian bench. They took exemption to that. Out comes Sankari, and we had ourselves a bit of a scrum there at half court.
That's been brewing, Rob. You've seen that all night. Physical play, a little bit of John, and I was talking to one of the fans over here that's sitting courtside, and they were talking about Brute and John with them during the ball game. It's just one of those games, and I hope it stays clean, but that's to be expected.
Look, it is a game of emotion. We know that. You and I have been around this game for a long time. Ibrahim Sankari is going to check back in for the Indians. He is going to come down to that end of the floor. Chris Duarte is still talking to the ref, going, keep an eye on him. If anything starts, it's not going to be on me. The two number 5s are going to be a matchup. Keep an eye on those two, as they've been talking to each other since after the Eric Vila three-pointer just a minute ago.
How's that going down? You got Zankari from Senegal, and you got my man Duarte from Puerto Rico. How do you talk trash? Hopefully.
Here we come across half court for Chipola. Ball switches back to Malik Zachary. Zachary working against Noah Morgan. He clears out Keyshawn Bruton one-on-one against Morgan. Drives right to the baseline. Nothing there. Tries to go around and under. Ball knocked out of the hands.
Good
and
hands
off.
Morgan.
I thought it was going to be off of Chipola, but they say it was off of Noah Morgan. So with 7 seconds on the shot clock, Chipola will unbound from underneath their own basket. Substitution. Anthony Mason's going to come in and replace Noah Morgan. So back to that tall lineup with Duarte, Vila, and Mason. Here's the inbounds.
Duarte doing a great job staying all over Bruton.
Malik Zachary launches a three, and it's blocked. So here we come the other way with a chance to take the lead. Duarte all the way to the rack, but he gets blocked. Mason ends up with it, but he can't get the handle down. Ball's up in the air. Crowd wants to travel. They won't get it. Ball's back on the ground.
Oh, push off.
A big push off there. No call there.
He just swallowed his whistle, decided he's not going to use it right now.
That was an interesting change of possession there.
Stay in him.
Malik Zachary at the top. He's going to drive and gets the right-hander to go over Chris Duarte. Raiders with a 2-point deficit, 1:09 left to play.
Malik Zachary doing what he's been doing all night, just getting to the rack, knocking down some crazy-looking layups.
Chris Duarte for three! Raiders take the lead on the Duarte three-point step back with less than a minute to play. Raider Arena is loud.
Back and forth. Duarte is feeling it right now. You definitely want the ball in his hands. Let him be the finisher here tonight. Doing a great job on the defensive end. Draped all over Brute, not allowing him to get the ball. And when he does, there's no open look. We just got to stop number 3, Malik Zachary, and keep our eye on him, keep him away from the basket.
You could feel at the last time out that Chris Duarte wanted to prove something at the end of this game. So all he did is take over, knock down that three, and give the Raiders the lead with 1 minute left to play. And that was clean from the moment Duarte let it go. As soon as it came off his hand, the angle was right, the height was right, everything looked good. It popped the net on the way through. Chris Duarte is feeling it right now. Yeah,
he's on fire. Got to keep the ball in his hands. Let him finish this game for us tonight.
10 of 21 from deep. Chris Duarte, after that three-pointer, is now 3 of 6. 3 of 5 is Trey Niggs. The Raiders are 24 of 51 from the floor, 21 of 25 from the line. 25 rebounds, still only 2 offensive. 8 blocks, 16 assists, 11 turnovers and 7 takeaways for the Raiders as we approach the end of what has been arguably the best basketball game of the season here at Raider Arena.
Most exciting game we've seen here all season long, Rob, without a doubt.
Chipola on the inbound. They trail by 1 with less than a minute to play. 30 seconds on the shot clock.
Got to keep your eyes on Zachary and Bruton. Got to stay in front of them, keep a hand in their face.
Keyshawn Bruton goes all the way to the rack and is going to be fouled on the way up by Tyree Jackson. Tyree fell back all the way across the lane. Looks like he may have taken a shoulder or a forearm to the jaw, and he gets knocked back. They're going to send Keyshawn Bruton to the line to shoot a couple. Opportunity to give the Indians the 1-point lead back if he can knock back both free throws.
Yeah.
First one rims out. Best he can do is tie the game now with 44.7 left on the clock.
Maybe he should shush the crowd again, Rob.
Second free throw is good. We got an all-square ball game. Timeout called by Chipola. They'll set in their full-court defense, I assume. That's the defense they've been running the last couple of times that Northwest Florida State has inbounded on that side of the floor. Jeff, the last 5 minutes of basketball has been about as exciting as we've seen all year long. You had the big three from Duarte to take the lead. Eric Vila did the same from up top. Chipola's answered a couple of times. This is college basketball.
Man, I'm telling you, I was talking to you earlier about these Raiders and just the quality of basketball we get to see here every Saturday night. And, I'm a Bama guy. Earlier today, I'm watching Alabama and Florida play. I'm going to tell you what, man, I would put these guys, some people might call me crazy, but I would put these fellas right now up against half the teams in the Southeastern Conference, and they would walk away with a W.
They've got a little bit of everything. Outstanding three-point shooting, inside presence from Luigi Mason and Vila. Obviously a ton of emotion and a ton of excitement. And right now, they've got a tie ball game and a Raider crowd that is here for a W.
Got 44.7 seconds left. Got to make the most of this possession, at least get 2 and play some defense.
Tyree Jackson, Noah Morgan, Javion Hamlet, Chris Duarte, Eric Vila all on the floor for the Raiders for the final 44.7. Here comes the inbound. Indians are in that full court defense. Passes into Javion Hamlet. Chipola will fall back to a half-court set. Here's Hamlet. Look to drive, no room. Gives it over to Duarte. 32 seconds on the clock, 16 on the shot clock.
Here.
Duarte kick back, fall away three. Boom! Chris Duarte with a clutch three-point shot. 24. Shot clock is off. Raiders up by 3.
Got to keep it. Oh, double dribble.
Malik Zachary to Keyshawn Bruton. Bruton drives, puts up the layup, and it's good. And a timeout called by Chipola. Chris Duarte, ice cold. The step back, fall away 3. That's one of those ones that I 100%. There, look at it. He's falling backwards with a hand in his face and still knocks it down. Ice water in the veins. That's one of those shots, Jeff, that when he launches it, you go, no!
Yes!
Yes!
Man, he is just ice, like you said, just ice running through those veins. So confident in what he brings to the table. Stepping back, knocking down a fadeaway 3. For those of you that are just casual basketball fans that are maybe here in the building or watching us online, you don't know how hard that is. That is hard.
That's a tough shot to make from 6 feet out. He just made it from way deeper than that. So the Raiders have a 1-point lead. They are inbounding underneath their own basket with 14.3 seconds left to play.
Yeah, right here, you want to get the ball. Make sure you get the ball into either Tyree Jackson or Hamlet. Let Hamlet handle it, but you ultimately want to get it into the hands of Duarte. Let him finish this thing off because you know the foul is coming. So you got to get someone that's going to step up and knock down these free throws.
Noah Morgan will inbound. Tyree Jackson as well as Javion Hamlet are down with him. Eric Vila and Chris Duarte working the sidelines into Vila. Vila's going to be there. There it is. There's the foul. I thought the foul would have come earlier, but it takes a second or two. Eric Vila is fouled, and he's going to head to the strike.
Vila's definitely been money, and that's why you see him down here on this end of the floor. He's been money tonight from the free throw line, or at least for most of the season. I believe tonight, what has he been, Rob?
3 of 5 so far this evening. Does have 9 rebounds. 2 of 3 from the three-point line, 6 of 8 from the floor. These arguably the biggest 2 free throws of the season for Eric Vila. Runs through his process. First free throw is short. Vila said he wanted a lane violation. I don't see it. Raiders up 1, 8 seconds left to play. Malik Zachary's going to give it up to Oladapo, and he knocks it through with 3.9 seconds left to play. The Indians now with an 83-82 lead, and the Raiders have 4 seconds to go the length of the court and find something. I'm not quite sure what happened on that free throw. It came up well short, and I'm not talking a miss. Eric Vila does not miss by that short. And when he came down, he actually fell backwards. Before the shot even hit the rim, he fell backwards, and not a oops, I messed up, or an I slipped. It looked like he genuinely lost his momentum forward. He looked at the ref and started asking for a call. I'm not quite sure what he thought he was going to get. You can't really get fouled on a free throw. So I'm not sure what happened with Eric Vila, but that was a clutch missed free throw from the big man. Now with 4 seconds left, his Raiders have got to come up with something.
Yeah, certainly not what I would expect from Eric Vila to step up there and miss that free throw. But you wonder, was that a lane violation unless we're able to go back and take a look at it. But he did get there pretty quick. So it is what it is. Put ourselves in a position. We got to go the length of the floor right here.
Chris Duarte, Eric Vila, Tyree Jackson, Noah Morgan, Javion Hamlet will be your 5 on the floor for the Raiders, who again have to go the length of the court and score in 3.9 seconds. Chipola in the full court man-to-man. Javion Hamlet by himself. They're going to just heave it to the other end. And it is pushed off. And that is a travel with 2.4 seconds left. That was Ibrahim Sankari who went up, grabbed the ball like a defensive back, picked it off from in front of Tyree Jackson. But when he came down, he slid across the floor, and it's a turnover. The Raiders bailed out there with an opportunity with 2.4 left to go. Chipola's going to call a timeout. So Ibrahim Sankari may have just done the Raiders a favor. Granted, only 2.4 seconds left to go, but that allows the Raiders to inbounds now right at the three-point line, right in front of us here on our side of the court, Jeff McDonald, with a handful of guys who can easily make it from anywhere on this side of the court.
Yeah, with 2.4 seconds left, plenty of time to even get the ball, turn face, get a dribble, and then put the shot up. So that, unfortunate for Chipola, but the gentleman did catch it, take 2 steps, and fall backwards. Certainly a travel. I'm surprised that these guys actually called that, but grateful they did at the same time.
Yeah, that's a big call down on this end of the floor. So here comes Northwest Florida State College. Same 5. Jackson, Noah Morgan, Eric Vila, Chris Duarte, and Javion Hamlet. Duarte to inbounds. Eric Vila's working right there. Hands it back to Duarte for the game. Can't get it to go. Just off to the right. And the upset is the Chipola Indians come into Northwest Florida State College and knock off the Raiders 83-82. I got to tell you, Jeff McDonald, game was as exciting as we've seen. A lot went wrong for the Raiders, unfortunately, early in the half, and they were never able to dig themselves back out of that hole. Just a performance that on one hand, disappointing loss. You hate to see it. On the other hand, it comes just a handful of days after you got up on a ladder and cut down the nets for the Panhandle Conference Championship. I asked earlier, did you think that maybe this slow start to the game was the ramification of a championship hangover? I'm not going to attribute it to that. but that was not the best we've seen the Raiders play so far this year.
No, I mean, tough ball game tonight for the Raiders. You know, they really fought back. They didn't play their best game, but they certainly didn't lay down either. Chipola came here tonight on a mission, and they were playing very physical, very nasty, and, you know, they got it done right there at the end. You know, we were in a great position to take this one home, knock down those free throws, or at least one, and that's ball game. So, but it doesn't always wind up that way, and maybe sometimes a loss like this is what it takes to spur you on to the next level.
Sure.
You know, kind of get you hungry again, wake you up a little bit.
And, you know, it's kind of one of those things, and we say this in a lot of different sports, there are times when the team that you're playing, this is their season. Well, with all due respect to Chipola, they are second in the Panhandle Conference. They are far from out of it. They are likely going to be in the state tournament. But the reality is, coming in here was the season for Chipola. This was the highlight game, and for most teams in the Panhandle Conference. And I certainly don't want to come across as a homer here, but to come in and get a win against Northwest Florida State College in Niceville, it's very, very rare. And you could tell that Chipola left everything they had out on the floor tonight. That was the best shot Chipola's going to get or give you. That was, I don't want to say it was the worst game we've seen Northwest Florida State College play, but they were out of sorts for the majority of the first half, and it still ended up being a one-point game, and Chris Duarte had a shot to win it at the end. You can't really ask for much more than that.
Yeah, that's one there only at the end. I was kind of expecting Duarte to continue to penetrate towards the basket, maybe put up a floater, or even maybe almost have the time to get to the basket to maybe lay it up or draw a foul. But, hey, I can't argue. The young man played a great game tonight, did a great job of keeping us in the ball game there, especially near the end of the second half. Very proud of his effort and the effort that the Raiders put forth tonight. Just didn't fall our way. So we got to regroup, finish up against Tallahassee on the 20th, and get ready for the state tournament. And, Rob, let's just be honest, okay? You keep saying you don't want to come across as a homer. Sir, we're homers. Let's just be honest.
We know who signs the check, so let's be honest.
We're homers.
Some final stats for you. 32 of 67 from the floor when Chipola, 9 of 17 from behind the arc, 10 of 16 from the stripe. They had 37 rebounds, 12 of them offensive. They ended up with 8 assists, 18 turnovers, 6 steals, and 3 blocks. For the Raiders, 25 of 53 from the floor, 11 of 22 from behind the arc, 4 of 7 was Chris Duarte. Speaking of threes, Keyshawn Bruton, 6 of 9 from behind the arc for the Indians, and that was the game right there. 21 of 26 from the stripe went the Raiders. They had 25 rebounds, and we pointed this out a number of times toward the games. They ended the first half with 2 offensive rebounds. They ended the game with 2 offensive rebounds. It's kind of one of those things, Jeff, where you had 2 or 3 more second chance baskets, and you're talking about walking out of here with a W tonight. Yeah. 7 steals, 8 blocks, 12 turnovers, and 16 assists for the Raiders tonight.
Well, I could promise you the message moving forward after tonight is toughness. We got to get tougher inside the paint, because I think, you know, you saw Chipola. They bullied us tonight. They really did. They out-physicaled us, if you will. And on top of that, again, you've got to get better underneath the rim in terms of blocking out on the offensive boards and the defensive boards. So a lot of room for improvement. You know, we've seen a lot of great things out of this squad, but it's not bad to walk away with some things to work on.
Not at all. A loss this evening, 83-82. One more regular season game is going to be at 6:30 on the 20th against Tallahassee before the state tournament. Last game of the season for us, Jeff McDonald. I got to say, it has been a pleasure, my friend. We got to watch some tremendous basketball here at Niceville, and look forward to watching even more with you in the next couple of years, man. Good times.
No doubt, man. And unfortunately, you know, I say unfortunately, you know, Dana Fusco walked over here and was handing over the reins. Next year I'll be taking over.
That's right.
As the voice of the Raiders on the PA. I'm excited about that, but I'll tell you what, this has been an absolute blast, Rob, and I believe we've got some great feedback. Hopefully the people have enjoyed it, and we've given them something that's entertaining and also informative, and hopefully we've done right by the Raiders, and it's just been a good time, man. I appreciate you having me here.
Absolutely.
And especially R.J. Murdoch and his crew, just a huge blessing.
There you see Mr. R.J. Murdoch, Max Murdoch, and Brandon Perdue, your operations system runners this evening in every game all season long. They are the ones who bring you all of the action. That's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed it. And there's RJ right there. That's the man. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Actually, pay him all the attention. He's the one that's got all the toys that make all of this possible. So this guy's in charge. Emerald Coast TV, go to the website. You check out the YouTube channel. All the games all season long are there. It has been my pleasure. Thanks to Ramsey Ross and everybody here at Northwest Florida State College for letting us come in here and do this. And thanks to you for watching. Hope you enjoyed all season long, and we'll see you next year. For Jeff McDonald, for RJ Murdoch, my name is Rob Brown. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Raider basketball here on Emerald Coast TV.
Go Raiders.